She stormed into the room, eyes blazing, and nobody knew if she was about to scream or cry. The camera caught every second, and you could feel the tension slice through the air. Andre wasn't backing down either. His jaw was tight, his words sharp, like a storm ready to break. And Elizabeth? She was trying to hold it all together, juggling her own emotions, while managing the chaos that seems to follow this couple everywhere. But what happened next shocked everyone watching. This wasn't just another argument. It was the moment you realized the drama might finally reach a tipping point. How far will someone go before saying enough is enough? The last episode left everyone questioning Elizabeth's patience. After months of family conflicts, shouting matches, and heated debates, she was visibly drained. Andre's confrontational style had fans split down the middle. Some applauded his honesty, others couldn't believe how he treated her. And the comments online? Exploding. People were weighing in on who's right, who's wrong, and who's just plain exhausting to watch. It's one thing to argue in private, but putting it all on camera changes the game. Every gesture, every word, it gets magnified. And viewers aren't just watching. They're judging, sympathizing, and mentally exhausted along with Elizabeth. Meanwhile, Lauren and Alexi were quietly becoming the counterweight to all this chaos. Their storyline didn't come with screaming or tension-filled confrontations. Instead, it showed real conversations, parenting struggles, and subtle moments that hit home for viewers. It's easy to miss if you're distracted by Andre and Elizabeth's fireworks, but Lauren's patience and Alexi's willingness to grow created a rare slice of authenticity in a season full of spectacle. Audiences began gravitating toward them, commenting on how real their struggles felt, and why it was refreshing to see conflict that actually resolved instead of spiraling endlessly. But back to the fireworks. The most shocking moment came when a family argument erupted over something that seemed small at first. A casual comment, a misunderstood intention, and suddenly, everything blew up. Andre's temper flared in a way that made even longtime fans flinch. Elizabeth tried to reason, tried to keep it calm, but the cameras kept rolling, and nothing could hide the strain in her voice. Viewers online were texting their friends, posting in forums, and debating whether this was the last straw. Could Elizabeth survive another week of this without snapping? And here's where it gets even more intense. While the audience was riveted by Andre's confrontational outburst, the producers were quietly orchestrating which moments to highlight, which to cut, and which to leave unspoken. The tension on screen wasn't just real life, it was curated reality. That carefully constructed chaos fuels the show, keeps viewers glued, and ensures every scene lands with maximum impact. It's a delicate dance. Exaggerate too much, and audiences tune out, show too little, and ratings drop. And you can feel it, those micro expressions, the pauses, the quick glances, everything is magnified for dramatic effect. Elizabeth's endurance becomes almost heroic when you watch it closely. Her body language, the sighs, the trembling hands, the subtle attempts at calm, all of it tells a story that words alone can't capture. You start to understand why some fans can't stop talking about her. She's the emotional anchor in a storm that shows no mercy. And Andre? He's the magnet for chaos. The unpredictable variable that keeps both the cast and audience on edge. Meanwhile, Lauren and Alexi's scenes offered the kind of relief that keeps viewers hooked differently. They had moments of frustration, sure, but there is also laughter, teamwork, and small victories that made you root for them quietly. In a season dominated by shouting and conflict, their grounded presence becomes surprisingly addictive. You start to notice details. The way Alexi listens intently, how Lauren sets boundaries without raising her voice, how their minor conflicts resolve quickly but meaningfully. It's the subtle stuff that keeps people watching for hours, making fans care about the long-term journey rather than the short-term drama. But just when you think Elizabeth might finally have a moment to breathe, Andre throws another curveball. A heated comment aimed at her triggers a wave of emotions, not just from her, but from everyone watching. The cameras capture it all, the silence between words speaking louder than the argument itself. And then comes the online storm. Social media lights up, fans arguing over fairness, emotional labor, and who really deserves the last word. Some side with Andre, some with Elizabeth, and everyone ends up second-guessing their own judgments. The tension isn't just between them, it's contagious. You feel the strain in your chest, the second-hand frustration, the empathy for someone holding so much together while chaos erupts around them. And that's exactly the trap the show sets for viewers. You can't look away. And yet, it makes you question why you're still invested. Could Elizabeth finally set boundaries? Or is the emotional toll going to continue building until it collapses completely? Every decision, every argument, every small sigh adds layers to the drama. And by the time Andre walks away, even for a moment, viewers are left holding their breath, wondering what comes next. You know it isn't over, and neither is the fallout. And while the drama around Andre and Elizabeth dominates headlines, the quieter tension in Lauren and Alexi's storyline keeps viewers guessing too. A small argument over parenting decisions escalates slightly, and for a moment, you wonder, will their patience hold? Or will the stress show cracks in their calm facade? It's subtle, but in a season where big explosions get all the attention, these quiet moments hit hard, especially when contrasted against the chaos surrounding them. As the episode closes, you realize the season is balancing two extremes: raw, explosive conflict, and quiet, emotional authenticity. Both grab attention, both provoke strong reactions, and both teach viewers something. One about the cost of unchecked anger, the other about the power of steady, empathetic communication. If you think you've seen the worst yet, stick around, because what's coming next doesn't just challenge these couples emotionally, it challenges everything viewers thought they knew about them. Just when you thought the storm had passed, things exploded again. Andre walked into the kitchen with that look, the one that says, "I'm ready to fight, but I'm not telling you why yet." Elizabeth froze mid-step, coffee mug in hand, her chest tightening. You could feel the tension radiate through the screen. And the first words out of Andre's mouth? A critique of something so small it almost seemed trivial. But in this house, nothing is ever small. Every comment is a spark ready to ignite a wildfire. And the camera didn't blink, because if there's one thing 90 Day Fiance has mastered, it's capturing emotional powder kegs before they detonate. Elizabeth tried reasoning calmly, her voice measured, like she was balancing on a tightrope over a pit of fire. But Andre interrupted mid-sentence, eyes narrowing. And suddenly, it wasn't about the coffee or the chores or even the argument that sparked it. It was about control, ego, and unspoken tension that had been simmering for weeks. Fans watching at home typed furiously into comment sections, saying, "I can't believe she's putting up with this," and he needs to chill. Social media was alive with conflicting opinions, and just like that, the online storm mirrored the chaos in the kitchen. Meanwhile, Lauren and Alexi's day looked completely different, at least on the surface. They were tackling a minor parenting disagreement, but the camera lingered on their body language, the gentle eye contact, the subtle nods, the way they actually listened to each other. It's almost unfair to compare, because Andre and Elizabeth's drama is like fireworks on a dark night, while Lauren and Alexi are a slow, steady candle. But here's the twist. Viewers are just as invested, because emotional honesty hits differently. You can see the impact ripple through their small victories, and it leaves fans quietly rooting for them, while laughing, crying, and occasionally gasping at Andre and Elizabeth's antics. And just when you start to breathe, Andre turns the argument on a completely new trajectory. He digs into Elizabeth's past mistakes, things that should have been buried months ago, throwing them into the conversation like grenades. Her face tightens, her hands tremble slightly, and the camera catches it all. You start to notice the micro behaviors, the way she bites her lip, the way her shoulders slump, and you think, how much of this is emotional exhaustion, and how much is survival instinct kicking in? Viewers can't look away, because they've been trained to watch these micro moments as closely as the big explosions. And just when you think it might calm down, a subtle pause hits. That pregnant silence is worse than any shouting match, because you know something is coming. The next twist comes in the form of a surprise text from Andre's family, landing in the middle of the argument. And suddenly, everything escalates again. It's one of those small things that packs a huge emotional punch. Elizabeth reads it, her expression shifts, and you realize the fight isn't just between her and Andre. It's between her, the camera, the family, and the entire narrative the show has built around her. Each moment she reacts, each sigh, each glance, it's a steady and emotional labor that few reality TV participants get credit for. Fans online noticed it too, flooding threads with sympathy, shock, and disbelief. Meanwhile, Lauren and Alexi's storyline is about to hit a turning point. A minor misunderstanding about finances leads to a quiet but tense discussion. At first, it seems harmless, almost relatable. But then, Alexi expresses frustration in a way that makes Lauren pause. You can almost see the gears turning in her head. How do I respond without inflaming this? How do I make my point without making him defensive? It's the subtle psychological tension that doesn't rely on yelling or dramatic gestures. And fans notice these moments. They comment on it, debate it, share screenshots of their favorite lines. The contrast couldn't be starker, high-voltage conflict versus quiet, relatable tension, yet both stories keep viewers glued. And here comes another twist. Andre escalates further by bringing in past grievances that nobody has talked about for months. His tone is sharp, accusatory, and just as he seems about to make a point, Elizabeth interrupts, voice firm but weary. You can see it, she's fighting for control in a battle where every move has been dictated by his unpredictability. Social media blew up in real time. Fans posting polls, dissecting body language, debating whether she should stay or walk away. The unpredictability is exactly why retention skyrockets. And you, watching at home, are caught between horror, fascination, and empathy. And right in that tension, something subtle happens that changes the dynamic entirely. A gesture, a glance, a softening moment. It's almost invisible if you blink, but it resets the stakes. Meanwhile, on social media, Lauren and Alexi are trending for the calm reason. Their parenting choice sparks debate about real-life situations viewers actually relate to. A small disagreement about chores or scheduling leads to thousands of comments, fan theories, and emotional takeaways. While it doesn't explode like Andre and Elizabeth's confrontations, it's sticky. People remember it, share it, and it fuels the long-term narrative. This dual strategy is what keeps viewers binge-watching the season. High drama for adrenaline, subtle authenticity for emotional investment. But back to the high drama. Andre and Elizabeth are now spiraling. Every argument seems connected to something else. A minor comment about house rules suddenly unravels layers of resentment, unmet expectations, and past conflicts. Elizabeth's frustration is palpable. Andre's defensiveness is relentless. And viewers are glued to the screen, pausing, replaying, discussing. Every micro-expression is content gold for the audience. And then comes the moment nobody sees coming. Andre makes a comment about family loyalty that flips the room's energy completely. You can feel the shock pulse through Elizabeth before she even responds. In the quiet aftermath, Lauren and Alexi's story develops a key emotional beat. Alexi admits a fault, a subtle yet powerful acknowledgement of error. Lauren's response isn't loud or dramatic, but it resonates. Humility, understanding, empathy. The contrast to Andre and Elizabeth couldn't be clearer. Fans online are dissecting it, praising maturity and communication, and some even compare it directly to the screaming matches of the other couple. The tension between spectacle and authenticity becomes a running commentary in itself, engaging viewers at multiple levels. And here's where it gets even more intense. Andre's comments have consequences beyond the room. A family member confronts him off camera, and suddenly the argument spills over, creating ripple effects. Elizabeth is caught between maintaining composure, addressing grievances, and managing the emotional fallout. Every reaction matters. The camera lingers, fans are analyzing, and you realize the stakes have escalated from another fight to emotional endurance test. Meanwhile, Lauren and Alexi have their own mini crisis. A simple miscommunication escalates temporarily, leading to laughter, apology, and a deeper understanding. It's subtle, but in a season dominated by screaming and shouting, this small win hits differently. It teaches viewers about patience, conflict resolution, and emotional intelligence, without ever needing theatrics. And just as you start to breathe, Andre makes a decision that changes the dynamic entirely. An unplanned confrontation that shifts who's in control. Viewers are left questioning the future of their relationship, guessing who will finally break first. Social media commentary is off the charts. Fans are creating timelines, posting reaction videos, debating who's in the right, who's emotionally stronger, and who's simply surviving. Every glance, sigh, and pause is dissected. The retention strategy of the show is obvious. Layers of conflict, human psychology, and unpredictability keep audiences from clicking away. Lauren and Alexi's story continues to provide a counterbalance. They face small obstacles, minor disappointments, and relational challenges. Every victory is subtle, but cumulative. Fans are drawn to the reliability of their interactions, the genuine affection and communication skills on display. And while this may seem less sensational, it hooks viewers for longer stretches, keeping the emotional connection alive while the explosive conflict reels in adrenaline junkies. And then, another curveball hits. Andre's family introduces a shocking perspective, turning the argument into something more than personal. It's about identity, loyalty, and past grievances resurfacing in ways nobody anticipated. Elizabeth's reactions are measured but powerful, showing both strength and vulnerability. And you can almost feel the audience holding their breath. By now, the episode has layered tension on top of tension, pushing both couples into extreme emotional territory. And just when you think it's impossible for it to get worse, a secret, a revelation, or a sudden decision lands, leaving viewers speechless and desperate to see what comes next. The juxtaposition of explosive conflict versus calm, reasoned resolution becomes almost hypnotic. Andre and Elizabeth's chaos keeps hearts racing. Lauren and Alexi's subtlety keeps minds engaged. The push and pull between adrenaline and emotional resonance creates a perfect storm for retention. Every scene, every moment, every reaction is calculated by human instincts, audience psychology, and the raw unpredictability of reality. As the night winds down, Elizabeth is exhausted but defiant. Andre is frustrated but unapologetic. Social media is ablaze with reactions, memes, and debates. Meanwhile, Lauren and Alexi share a quiet victory that few cameras linger on, but which quietly strengthens their story arc. And you realize this season is teaching viewers about endurance, empathy, and emotional intelligence, all under the guise of televised chaos. If you think the night ends here, think again, because the emotional consequences of these decisions are just beginning to ripple through both couples, setting the stage for more explosive drama, personal growth, and shocking revelations that no one saw coming. The moment the episode ended, the internet exploded. Fans were not ready for what they'd just seen, and the commentary started almost instantly. Andre's explosive confrontation with Elizabeth wasn't just another argument. It had become the emotional epicenter of the season. Screenshots, clips, reactions, and tweets flooded timelines. People were dissecting his every movement, every tone, every word. Some called him out for aggression, others praised his honesty, and nearly everyone debated Elizabeth's response. Social media was alive, buzzing with theories about what would happen next, and the numbers reflected it. Retention skyrocketed because nobody could look away. Meanwhile, Lauren and Alexi's segment had a subtler but equally powerful effect. A simple, calm conversation about family planning became a viral talking point. Fans shared clips, commenting on how rare it was to see a couple discuss sensitive topics without yelling. Their emotional intelligence, patience, and subtle humor became discussion points in thousands of threads. The contrast was stark. While Andre and Elizabeth generated shock value, Lauren and Alexi fostered lasting empathy and connection. And this dual strategy? It's a genius retention engine. Viewers wanted adrenaline and authenticity simultaneously. And here's where it gets wild. The lines between viewers, participants, and social media blur. Fans start predicting reactions, anticipating arguments, and even influencing the conversation before the next episode airs. Back in the house, Andre and Elizabeth faced the aftermath of the confrontation. Elizabeth retreated to her room, eyes red from frustration, anger, and exhaustion. You could see the emotional toll. The tension wasn't just in the words anymore. It had seeped into posture, breathing, and tone. Andre, on the other hand, seemed unaware of the impact, replaying the argument in his head, justifying his points. The audience watching online debated endlessly. Was he being honest or manipulative? And this is where reality TV becomes psychological warfare, blending human behavior, manipulation, and audience investment in one tangled knot. Lauren and Alexi's day took a quieter turn, but it hit just as hard. A heartfelt conversation about parenting challenges brought them closer, and for viewers, it was like watching something rare and precious unfold. The subtle tension, the small acknowledgments, the gestures of support, all created emotional resonance that sticks far longer than a scream or accusation. Fans commented, shared, and revisited clips multiple times, reinforcing long-term retention in a way loud arguments rarely do. Then comes the social media firestorm. Clips of Andre's outburst go viral. Memes explode, and people debate Elizabeth's choices in live streams and comment sections. Each reaction becomes part of the story, pushing the narrative outside the screen. Andre's behavior is dissected for control patterns, conflict triggers, and relational impact, while Elizabeth's patience and restraint spark discussions about boundaries, self-respect, and emotional endurance. And the audience isn't passive. They're active participants, emotionally invested, analyzing micro-behaviors frame by frame. And just when you think things are settling, a fan theory pops up that no one could have predicted, linking a past confrontation to an upcoming twist that nobody has seen yet. Meanwhile, Lauren and Alexi face a challenge that tests their emotional stability. A small but tense disagreement escalates over chores, communication, and expectations. But the way they handle it is the lesson of the season: calm, empathetic, and strategic. Alexi acknowledges his oversight, Lauren sets a boundary, and the tension resolves naturally. It's human behavior, relational psychology, and emotional growth condensed into a single moment. And the audience notices. They comment, analyze, and engage in ways that social media feeds thrive on, even without fireworks or shouting. Back with Andre and Elizabeth, the storm continues to spiral. A late-night argument about family loyalty turns personal, dredging up old wounds. Elizabeth finally reaches a breaking point. Her voice cracks, not from anger, but from exhaustion, frustration, and the cumulative weight of weeks of emotional labor. The camera captures it all. And the audience? They're glued. Some cheer for her resilience, others criticize her tolerance. But nobody looks away. Retention peaks because the stakes feel real, immediate, and unavoidable. And here's a twist. Andre makes a move that shocks both the house and viewers. A step that changes the power dynamic entirely. Social media explodes again. Clips circulate, reactions flood in, and fan communities debate ethics, emotional intelligence, and personal responsibility.